for the Atari that brought you a home computer truly designed for the home. Sophisticated for advanced needs, yet simple enough for your child to use. Compose music, play advanced games, manage your finances, all at the touch of a button. Discover Atari. And discover how far you can go.
Alright, let's take a look at Star Raiders on the Atari 8-bit system. I loved this game back in 1979 when it first came out. You can see we have different skill levels. We had Pilot, Warrior, Commander, and Novice missions. Basically the difference between the missions or how many enemies you have to destroy. And on the higher levels, you actually have to maintain your crosshair in the center in hyperspace so you don't go off course. Here you can see the galactic chart, where you can see the enemy ships we have to battle. Little star symbol shapes there, those are your star bases that you have to protect. If you get 4 enemy ships around the star base, you have 1 minute to rescue the star base, otherwise it gets destroyed. Now we're getting ready to go into the battle. This is my long-range scanner here where I'm trying to locate the enemy Xylon ships. I dig the photon torpedo sounds on this game. I played this game for hours and hours when it came out. I still play it quite a bit even today on my Atari 800, which is the original 800 I had back then. Now what you're seeing on the screen here at the very bottom, we have V, which is the velocity, how fast your ship is moving through space. And that's controlled by the number keys, 1 through 0. So level 9 is real fast. You hit 0 and it puts you to a dead stop. The K stands for the number of enemies you've killed. The E is your remaining energy. And you notice as you have your shields turned on, it takes up so much energy. The attack computer takes up energy. Basically everything in this game takes up energy. The T is the targets that you're tracking. Now you can manually select a target, or you can have the computer auto-select a target for you and track it. It'll change into a C when that happens. Now if the computer is tracking a target, what it'll do is if the enemy target gets behind you, it'll switch to that aft view you just saw just a second ago. And then the enemy gets back in front, it'll go back to the forward view just like you see here. Now the 2 little symbols you see right below the V and the K and the E gives you the basic coordinates of where the enemy ship is that you're tracking. Negative numbers means they're behind you. Positive numbers means they're in front of you. Now the range, the R, that also will show where the enemy ship is, either in forward or behind you. Positive is forward in front, negative is behind. Now as you're tracking the enemy ships, you'll notice that every once in a while you'll see the attack computer display show 4 bars on it. 2 in the middle of the screen there where you see the little TIE fighter symbol, and then 2 at the very bottom of that little box. When that happens, that means the computer's locked onto that target, and it'll shoot both photon torpedoes at the same time. There we go. To lock on and destroy the target. Now something you may notice is the slowdown when there's a lot of explosions on the screen. That's due to some of the math processing in the program itself. It kind of gets slow. Oh, there's an enemy base star. Notice how it blinks and shines. It takes more than 1 shot to destroy. As you can see here, I'm having a lot of trouble. There, we're lock on. There we go. Usually if you get a lock on, it'll destroy it really fast. Now this game uses a lot of keys on the Atari 800 keyboard. Like I described earlier, 0 to 9 is your speed control for your engines. The letter A will select the aft view. The letter C will engage your computer attack control. The letter F is for the front view. G is the galactic chart. H is to engage the hyperwarp engines. L is the long-range sector scan. M is the manual target selector. S is for shields. T is the tracking computer. And P pauses the game. Now, if you do pause the game, you just move the joystick to unpause the game. Now, this game was programmed by Douglas Newbar, and it took him about 8 to 10 months to put this game together. And it's one of the early launch titles for the Atari 8-bit computers. It was one of the first space shooters available on the home console. It's a great effect, those explosions. I think they're so cool, and the moving star field is really neat. As you can see, the enemy ships over here are trying to get themselves positioned around that starbase, but unfortunately, there's only 3 groups left, so they're not going to be able to surround that base and destroy it. Now, as enemy shots hit you, you'll start to take damage. When you're on the galactic map, you'll see down in the bottom right-hand corner the letters DC, which is damage control, and then letters P, E, S, L, and R. And they'll be green if all those systems are good. You have, P is for your photons, E is for your engines, S is for the shields, and so forth. As components are damaged, they'll change colors, so they'll go from green to yellow, and then red when they're destroyed. There you can see them right there. PSCLR. Hyperwarp engaged. Going to the next sector. Now when you do get low in energy, you can actually warp to a starbase and dock, which I'll be doing here real soon because I am getting low. Now when you complete the game, it'll give you an overall rating, like, pilot, garbage scout, captain, admiral. All depends on how well you do in the game. Basically, the more targets you destroy in the least amount of time and the least amount of used energy, the higher your score is. Now, right now, I want to dock with the starbase. I gotta get close enough till it says orbit established. So I'm sneaking up on the base. There we go. Then you'll see a little shuttlecraft come out, and he'll refuel you and repair any damage you have. There we go. Back to the galactic map. Select the last guy. Away we go. Now you see the flashing crosshair in the middle? That's what I was talking about. You got to keep it centered on the crosshairs so you don't hyperspace into a different sector. Oh yeah. That was quick. Should have one more left. There he is. Go to the aft view here. He's behind me somewhere. Okay, he's getting closer. At negative 190. There he comes. Got him. And now I should get a rating. Starfleet 2. Star Cruiser 7. Mission complete. New rank is Pilot. Class 2. Congratulations. Awesome. Well, if you'd like to learn more about this game, there's a podcast out there called Player Missile Podcast, where he's going through all the Atari 8-bit games and the Atari 8-bit magazines of the era. So give that podcast a listen. So until next time, thanks for watching.